Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Whitney with the Yoga Art Space Studio in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And today we've got a nice short practice based on bringing out the water element in our yoga practice. Water element is very fluid, flexible, flowing in and out. And as we practice on incorporating more water into our flow, into our movement, into our style, we naturally begin to heal the sacrum because water is the element of the sacrum. It's the element that allows us to flow into the changing life, the changing wonderful seasons, and into this flow of life. So as we begin, we'll have a nice, tall, comfortable seated posture. And we'll begin to imagine a bowl of water sitting in our pelvis. We'll want to tilt this bowl of water in every direction possible. And so the first thing that we'll do here, with one hand on each knee, is to begin to rock side to side, left to right, back and forward, side to side, taking all sorts of little movements here, trying to tilt this bowl of water in all possible directions, really beginning to connect to this feeling of water. Maybe even let one hand go to one side of you, stretching the opposite arm up and over, taking the second side, tilting this bowl of water in all directions possible. When we've really begun to connect to that feeling of water, we'll come up onto our hands and knees and we'll flow back and forth between a child pose and then reaching the hands forward, we sink the hips low, lifting the shoulders up, cobra, child pose, and cobra, back and forth, flowing like water, filling the spine free, lubricating. As we come into our child, we find that curvature in the spine. And as we come into the cobra, we free up that curvature, taking a back bend. Good. Enjoy one more, back and forth. Enjoy relaxing here for a few extra breaths in a child pose, decompressing the spine, making sure that it's still free and flexible to move with you. And after a few breaths here, we rise upward, coming back onto our hands and our knees. The hands are placed right under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. We stick the right leg straight back behind us, and here the flow is to bring the knee in towards the nose, and then taking the leg back behind you, bend the foot up to the sky, almost like a little whiplash. Bring the knee in and kick it back behind. We'll do this 5 times on the right side. Flow with your breath. The breath is part of the flow. This is a natural thing that happens in our body constantly. Switching to the left side, we take 5 cycles, and the more we can connect with this breath that's constantly flowing in or out, the more we begin to feel that flow, the flow of water, connecting us to our creativity, our passion, all of these wonderful feelings that are very present in the sacral chakra. Here we step the right foot forward to the front of the mat and we set ourselves up for a wonderful pigeon pose. The front knee is bent, the back leg is straight back behind you, and taking the sleeping pigeon, we forward fold into the body. Remember, you can support that right hip. We don't stay here for too long, about 5 breath cycles. And then very gradually rising back up to the hands, we rock over to the right side, swinging the left leg in front, reaching the right leg behind us. We'll have to lift up onto our hands to straighten that back leg behind us, moving the sacrum over through the center of the body, staying nice and centered, and then we come into that forward fold once more. About 5 breaths on this side, opening up the hips, freeing up the water so that it can flow through the rest of our day, leading us into these wonderful ideas, passion, creativity, inspiration, living our best version of ourselves. After those 5 breaths, swing the legs forward, coming onto our backs, and then we shake out the hips, shake them from side to side, loosening up any of the rigidity that may have been built up in the hips, and finishing off with our Shavasana pose. Stay here for as long as you have today, and know that you can come back to this short little water flow at any point in time. Thank you for joining me today. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.